For Liana, it's a long-standing tradition. She visits her mother every day in the New Köln district of Berlin. They both fled Syria in 2012 and found refuge in Germany. But since the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime, the question of their return has become a bone of contention between them, especially given security concerns.
I feel that it's our duty to our country to return. I'm not allowed to just take my children and not bring them back to Syria. We must rebuild the country we left. It's only right, whether you agree with me or not.
Every day it's the same. I wake up and you tell me you want to go home. Why? It puts a lot of pressure on me.
After the collapse of the regime in early December, Rania and Liana went to Damascus for a few days. Liana was reunited with her father after 12 years of separation.
My daughter, we have to go home.
Since then, her mother has wanted to return home more than ever, despite the unstable situation in Syria, while Liana finds the idea unreasonable at this time.
I cannot say whether the situation is safe now or not, because a week is not enough for us to see the whole picture.
When I went to Damascus, I was truly excited like my mother, because it was a dream to be free. But then I realized that people there are still focused on getting their basic needs met.
Like Rania and Liana, over 1 million Syrian refugees live in Germany. The desire to return is very strong. But for those who are ready to take the plunge, there are many logistical challenges. Direct flights to Damascus have not yet resumed. Many people come to this travel agency to ask about the price of plane tickets.
If someone wants to fly from Berlin to Damascus, there's no direct route. And if a family of 2 or more wants to travel, the price is exorbitant.
Wow, that's really expensive.
Too expensive for Manal Takriti, who would still like to go home soon.
I hope to return to my country. I came here for my children. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here.
I'm seeing more and more people like this who come here for information. Lately, I've even sold a few one-way tickets.
But some people in the agency are much more hesitant. Abdel Majid still wants to bring his family to Europe. A return to Syria is out of the question for the time being.
I'm afraid that if I go to Syria, I might have problems renewing my residence permit here. So first I want to secure my future in Germany. Then I'll think about going back. Our house is completely destroyed. Even the trees have been uprooted.
Like him, many Syrians fear that they will not be able to return to Germany after a stay in Syria. According to lawyer Anwar al-Bani, this concern has been heightened by the debate on immigration that dominated the recent election campaign in Germany.
Conservative candidate Merz's speech against migrants was terrible.
Since the regime change in Damascus, right-wing and far-right politicians have called for Syrians to be deported. For this lawyer, famous for his fight against the torturers of the Assad regime, the debate is premature.
Syria is not a safe country for returning refugees. You can't just deport someone and drop them off at the airport. There must be diplomatic relations, and above all, you must make sure that no one is tortured. All this talk is just politics. It's not realistic at all.
But 10 years after the arrival of refugees in Germany, the country's welcome culture is disappearing. Rania and Liana are also often confronted with this. In German society, prejudice is still very much alive.
When they see us, they always think veiled women, desert, camels, and all of that.
But Liana, who has spent a large part of her life in Germany, now feels at home in Berlin. Like her, almost 2/3 of Syrian refugees have found work in Germany. In the New Köln district, the businesses they've set up are thriving.
I feel at home in this district. It's a melting pot of cultures.
She too has decided to launch her own small business. Liana will open her cafe soon, a place where art, music and diverse communities will be welcome.
The idea came from a desire to have a place where my mother and I felt comfortable, like at home. I want to create a place where people can express themselves freely. I didn't reject the idea of returning to Syria, but when I went, I realized how difficult it would be with the current situation.
Going back to Syria is still a distant dream for Liana, who has just obtained German nationality. A chance that not everyone has. Many other Syrian refugees fear that the German government's new migration policy will soon force them to return.